Welcome back, guys! If you haven't seen the first part of this video, click the link below or in the description. The third part of the TOEFL test is the speaking section, and for me, this was the most challenging. Now, you might think, but wait, you've studied abroad, right? And you're correct. I spent time in England and Canada, where I practiced English a lot with native speakers. I got comfortable speaking English in day-to-day life, so naturally, I thought I'd have no issues with the TOEFL speaking section. But here's the thing about TOEFL. They ask you to speak on the most random topics, things you never talk about in real life. And to make things even more difficult, you only get 15 seconds to think and 60 seconds to speak. It's absurd. So, my hack for the speaking section: templates. The test has 6 questions, and they follow a predictable pattern. I created a set template for each question, and today I'm going to share those with you. I'll walk you through how each question is structured, how to manage the limited time, and, most importantly, how to avoid the trap of overthinking. Now, I have to admit something. I was terrified of this part of the test. I listened to feedback from people who actually grade TOEFL speaking sections, and they mentioned giving lower scores to people who mumble or speak too slowly. And I remember thinking, what's too slow? What's too fast? How do I know? Even native speakers struggle with this. And to make things worse, they expect you to talk about topics that might never cross your mind. Like, why don't you like rock music? Give 2 examples. Really? That's when I realized the key to survival was improvising with confidence. I didn't have examples ready, so I imagined my friend who went to a rock concert, hated it, and came back with a headache. Boom! That became my story. Yes, TOEFL advises you not to lie, but sometimes there's no other option. If you can't think of a real-life example, it's better to invent one than stay silent. Here's another tip. Use bridge words like, "in my opinion," or "the reason is," to structure your answers. This helps you buy time and makes your speech sound more coherent. For example, if the question is, why do you want to visit the United States? You can say, first, because New York is the greatest city in the world. Second, the US offers a variety of climates, from the sunny beaches of Florida to the icy landscapes of Alaska. Remember, it's okay to leave a few seconds of silence. I was so nervous during my test that I forgot half of what I had prepared. At one point, I went silent for a full 10 seconds. But guess what? I still scored 30 out of 30. It turns out they don't penalize you for a few seconds of quiet if your overall answer is strong. So, let's break down each question type. 1. The first 2 questions usually involve giving 2 examples. They ask something like, why don't you like rock music? Or, why do you like your city? These questions are random, but the trick is to always have 2 examples ready. Don't stress too much if the examples aren't amazing. Just get through them. 2. The third question is easier because they give you a text and someone's opinion on it. You just summarize what you've read and what the speaker says. It follows the same format every time. The article claims. The speaker disagrees by saying. And then you provide the first and second reasons from the text and speech. 3. The fourth question is similar to the third, but with more specific examples. For instance, they might talk about top universities in the US, and you'd summarize the article and speaker's points. Again, it's formulaic. Stick to the structure and you'll be fine. The fifth question is my favorite. It involves real-life situations, like two students discussing a problem. One might have a noisy neighbour, and the other will suggest solutions. The best part? You almost always pick the second solution. It's usually the more reasonable one, and it saves you time. 5. The sixth question gets scientific, but don't worry. They'll talk about reptiles or something, and you'll just summarize the text and professor's points. Same strategy. Stick to the structure. Finally, the essay section. There are 2 essays, and the first one doesn't leave much room for creativity. You'll be summarizing an article and a professor's opinion on it. My advice here is to stick to the facts and avoid unnecessary details. Also, always exceed the word count. Go 100 or 200 words over if you can. In the second essay, you have more freedom. They'll give you a problem to solve, and you'll need to provide clear examples and arguments. The key is to be clear and concise. And here's my golden rule. Don't use fancy words if you're unsure of the spelling or meaning. It's better to write simple, error-free sentences than make mistakes with complicated vocabulary. So, that's it for the TOEFL speaking and writing sections. If you follow these templates and practice, you'll be prepared for whatever TOEFL throws at you. Trust me, I was in your shoes, nervous and unsure, but I scored 118 out of 120, which was more than enough for my university. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe. In my next videos, I'll share how I aced the GMAT, got into top US universities, and more about my life in the United States. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your TOEFL preparation. Catch you in the next video.